in charge of all of education for the country, and you had to make some decisions to make the most impact for the next 10 years, what would you do?
I would have all the students from every single school meet in the gym every single day, or in a certain area, maybe breakout groups depending on how big the schools are, and exercise before school. At the beginning of the day.
Why?
There's a very powerful thing in physical movement before school. I think that there's access to a lot of different things. Mom and dad aren't there before school, so like, I'm gonna hang out my little boo before school. Let me hit this little J before school.
Right.
Let me get a little high before school. So there's different things that like, you got students that are coming to school and they're not necessarily focused on themselves, right? Like get locked in, especially in our Sweat DC classes. It's a lot about like getting your mindset ready for the day.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Coach G. I want to welcome you to Unmasked, a new podcast where we get real, have real conversations, and pull off the mask so we can all show that we're all more together than apart. Today, I'm so excited to have Alex Clark with me. We say DC Teacher of the Year, CEO, founder, head bike man. You wear all hats at Prime Mobility. Long term, we just kind of talked about this. Our most tenured Sweat DC coach. It's funny how you go from, time happens. And more important than that, I think leader in every space you're in. And that's one thing that we want to get with Unmasked is I want to talk to leaders in the field, leaders in the space, and just have real conversations so we can kind of understand more about the world. Co-host Whitney Stringer here,
Hey.
head PR superstar, and my
Chief questioner.
and keeps me from being ashy most times. I don't know if you're being successful at that, but I'm trying.
I try my best. Hopefully I'm not ashy.
Yeah. So today, I just kind of open this thing up, like, what's going on with education? Like, you've been an educator for how many years now?
Year 11 coming up.
11?
Wow.
Damn, how'd that happen?
I don't know. Time is ticking, man. It's going faster now than anything.
But yeah, I just think that we all, we're seeing a lot of stuff in the news. A lot of people have opinions on education. Almost everybody has an opinion on education, but not a lot of people are actually in education. So I know we had conversations about it. It's something we were all talking about. But from an insider, not just an insider, but a change maker, what's going on?
Yeah.
A lot. It's a lot going on.
And have a lot changed in the 11 years. So when you answer that, have things changed a lot in your tenure?
Yeah, I think right away, what you can pinpoint off the bat is COVID, right? There was a big shift from 2020 to kind of how students were learning. It was a big shift in how students were relating to education too, the investment into that. I think right away, I think about it in a couple different ways. Education has changed in terms of the investment level. And when I say that, I don't mean that students aren't invested into education. It's just sometimes there's so many distractions for students. So sometimes they don't see the value in it. So showing up to school on time.
Yeah.
Where's the value in it?
Okay.
Being there every day consistently, where's the value in it? And I think sometimes it's a lot to do with the expectations that we set on for students, but it also has to do with how we approach really what their interests are and how do we get them to come back and be invested into their own.
I feel like there's always been distraction. I mean, I don't know. When I went to school, there was always people who didn't come to school and were late, and we just kind of put them in a section of those are the people who don't value this, and they're either going to find their own path later, or honestly, a lot of times I felt like my teachers were well, we're just going to teach it to people who actually want to learn, and everybody else, whatever. I don't know. Is that
Yeah, I would say it's similar. When I say expectations, I joke with my kids all the time because I'm I'm originally from Hartford, Connecticut. I didn't grow up in the DC area, and I teach DC kids. And it's a lot different. I came from a district where you get on the yellow school bus, you take your butt to school, and then you get on the yellow school bus, you come right back, or you walk from school or things like that. That's not necessarily the case in the city. And so, I joke all the time that I started school at 7:10 in the morning. And we got out of school. What time y'all started school? I got out of school.
No, it was 8 for us.
You know what time we start school now?
Yeah.
9.
At 9 o'clock?
We start school at 9. We start school at 9.
Get out of here.
We start school at 9. So
No, you lying. I did not know it was 9 o'clock.
So I joke about that a lot because I'm that's late.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I've been up. I've been up. So, you know, like there's been, I wouldn't say necessarily a shift because I don't know if that's always been the thing here. I know that like, you know, there is no like yellow school bus take kids to school. Like once you get to middle school here, you know, you're pretty much like taking the metro or like public transportation and things like that. So there's a big reason why there needs to be like a staggered approach where like elementary kids go to school because traffic and things like that in the city. But like, you know, like again, you're starting school at 9 o'clock. There's so many times where we can hit the snooze button and be like snooze. Next time you turn around, it's 8:45, and mom and dad not home now because they gonna go on to work. It's like you have to make that decision for yourself. Like, am I gonna get up and go, or am I gonna sit there and just lie to my parents? Like, what am I gonna do? And so that's why it's important for like kids to like be involved in like activities and like be involved in certain clubs. So they can be held accountable. But we could talk a lot about like the accountability piece.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna pop in.
Yeah.
Like you said, mom and dad. I mean, the biggest thing I always think about is like, I think your teacher is there to assist you, but your parents are responsible for you.
Yeah.
So as much as people are like, the teachers ain't doing this, or we gotta pay the teachers more to do that, I always look at y'all as like an extra tool. But the foundation of like me understanding education and I kind of what you were saying, like valuing it, that was set at home. Now, I guess my question in that is there an instance where parents cannot value education, teachers can, and a kid come out valuing it or getting what they need to get?
That's a good question.
That's a really good question.
You supposed to know the answers.
Yeah,
That's
that's a really good question. And right away, when I think about, I think about like, I automatically think about stories of students, right? I don't necessarily think about it in like a systematic thing way, but I think about like Madison, Madison. You've met Madison, right? But Madison comes from like one of the toughest areas in DC, but you wouldn't know that because she doesn't carry that. She could very much so like come to school and be like, I'm dealing with so much, and make that an excuse to why she can't like excel or why she can't be the best she can be. And there's always things going on in her neighborhood, right? And she comes to school, she's involved in like a million different activities, and then she want to work at Sweat full time and like do all this extra stuff. And so for her to have that mindset, I think one, her mother is incredible. Like her mother's in her life. Her mother is like, don't play no games with her, right? But it comes to a point where if we got kids that are being so independent, like we talked about, like getting on the metro and like doing those things, like starting in 6th grade, like we have to start teaching students also like the importance of being independent in everything that they do, right? And I think for her, it was more intrinsic for her. But for some students, they have to be taught that. And it's so easy for us to say to kids like, show up, like go to college. Like if you don't get good grades, like you can't go to college. But some kids are just kind of like, where's the value in it in general? Like I'm dealing with just as much as a student like Madison might be dealing with, but like I really need money right now, right? So instead of me going to school, I might be late to school because I might have been up all night working, or I might be choosing a different route to get money that might be putting me in jeopardy of getting in trouble. But at least I'm putting some money in my pocket. So got kids that are like taking risks in different ways, and the value in education, and then like the lesson that you try to frame to them each and every day, sometimes can get lost.
How much are they sharing that with you? Like, obviously you're talking about Madison's story, but in general, how much are you knowing of the behind the scenes life of your students?
So it's really delicate.
Okay.
It's really delicate. I think that sometimes like we in society, especially with Black students, sometimes we like Black students that come from tough neighborhoods, especially, we sometimes like assume that they're going through a lot, and we kind of assume like, oh, you might be dealing with this, right? Or it might be a poverty thing, right? Or it might be but like we actually won't know until we ask students the question, right? And so like I'll just ask students like just random questions, like might talk about a topic, and we might be like, it might be about like prison, right? We had a conversation and we talked about prison. It was just like, how many, not to ask you such a deep question, but how many of you know someone that's incarcerated?
Okay.
simple, right?
Yeah,
But how many
yeah.
of you know someone that's incarcerated? And it's like, you'd be surprised like how many students are dealing with that, right?
It was more than you thought it was going to be.
Right,
Okay.
right. Or it's right what I thought it was going to
Okay.
be, right? Like,
Okay.
and that might be the reason alone, like that family member that's going through that, or their family that's dealing with that. That alone might be the reason what's holding that kid back with his confidence, or like with the, like his ability to just want more for himself, right?
Yeah.
And so if you just once you start asking those questions, then they'll start sharing right away. They're open books once you start sharing, but like a lot of people don't ask them that.
But are you taught? Now I've known you for a while, and I know that you are a relationship builder. If I say one of your amazing qualities is, I think I could throw you in any situation.
Yeah.
And we've seen this from successful stuff you've done and like traveling. You can go anywhere and you're gonna be you, but you're also gonna build community and connection. You can build it with someone from the Midwest, someone from West Coast, East Coast, city, country, rural. And that's one of, I think, your super skills where you'll always be successful no matter what you're doing. But you ain't learn that in teaching 101, teaching 102. But it seems like that's like the groundwork of how you inspire and get these people actually to buy in.
Yeah.
So like backing up with like, I guess, teachers' education, do you think the teachers' education needs to be like burned down and built back up? Because I'm gonna be transparent or vulnerable a little bit. My experience going through college, the people that I saw who became teachers were people who didn't know what they wanted to do in college. And because they had a degree, at the end of college, the recruiter came around and was like, come to Teach for America. Don't know what you're about to do.
You're right.
You're about to go home and work in the mall.
I did
because
see
you got
that.
a psychology degree or whatever. Come be a teacher. So my outlook for teaching, because I didn't see a lot of people who came to school say, I want to be a teacher. I don't know where I'm landing the plane, but it's like, our teachers who are getting to the classroom with the kids, are they properly set up for what's going to make them successful and the kids successful?
Yeah, I think it's a specific approach, man. I think in terms of like, there's a lot to be said about like teacher readiness. I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Teacher readiness.
Like teacher readiness programs in terms of like college and like getting teachers like ready to like go into the classroom like right away. Because you can have a teacher that goes to, and I'm not trying to be like crazy, but
go
like,
ahead, say it.
But like you can have a teacher, you can have a teacher that goes to blah 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 university, and then like, but they've never taught in a city where the district is 95% African American, right? And then like, and you go into the classroom, and then you're like, and then you think that the students are out of control, but no, they're not out of control. Like this is culture, right? Like everywhere is different, right? So like everywhere is gonna look out of control if you're not used to that, right? And I think sometimes like with our kids, they get labeled as out of control, and it's not necessarily out of control. It's just like you don't know how to relate, and so like maybe you need to like learn some skills or take some PDs to learn how to relate.
Does that frustrate you if you see that amongst colleagues?
See, I don't see it necessarily on a daily because I'm not like observing teachers all the time, but I do hear it, and sometimes you hear
from the students.
You hear from the students like, oh, somebody might not like me or something like that. But you also hear microaggressions, and we see that in all different career fields and industries. And I think that like, if you feel as though, I feel like we have to take the accountability as educators to like, if we feel as though our skills aren't up to par and there's certain things that we need to improve in, just like as personal trainers and as somebody that might practice any practice, we have to always like be in tune and want to like do better for ourselves. And so I think sometimes some educators they think that they got it already.
Nice. He thinking
they got it already.
Shirley don't do it.
That's
Jim don't do it.
They got it already. They already got it.
If her name's
right?
Shirley,
They think they already got it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody is number one draft pick.
Right.
And it's like
we all learning.
So. Yeah. It's okay to go to the G League for a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's okay to go to the G League.
Yeah.
It's fine.
What feels different about it versus when you were growing up in school? Like the teacher's approach, or like that connection with the teachers, or the interaction between educators and parents.
Yeah. I don't want to say structure on like on a basis of like there's no structure in like my school. No, I'm not saying that, because there is. I mean more like structure in terms of like longevity, like turnover.
Okay.
Right? So like my principal that one of my principals, she just moved on. She took a different job, so we have a new principal coming in this year. But she was a principal for our school for about 6 years.
Okay.
So there's a lot of like turnover within like just in general within DC. But like at my school, I graduated 2009, and guess who's still the principal? The same dude.
You roll back.
The same dude. And if I go back, guess who the same English teacher is? The same 2 English teachers, same math teachers. And they leave once they retire.
Yeah.
Like teachers retire from positions in Connecticut, right? And that's why a lot of people leave Connecticut, especially teachers, because like there's not a lot of jobs. Like it's not in demand because people stay.
Do they pay better?
They don't. So like
Connecticut doesn't pay better, but they have more.
And Connecticut is like really high in terms of like success rate and like academic standards and things like that. But no, DC is actually I would say DC is probably top 3.
Okay.
In terms of like
that's one thing. One thing I want to talk about is there is always a elephant in the room, or I think not even elephant in the room, is like people always talk about teachers' pay, and it's I would say like something that's like really, to be political, both sides of the aisle, everyone always agrees teachers are really important and should be paid a great wage and whatnot. But I don't think most of us really know. I have some friends who are teachers who seem like they're doing pretty well or seem comfortable or whatever, but I know it's not true everywhere, right? So what is like pay like in DC, and how does that differ from I guess the rest of the country? Yeah,
so I would say DC is like one of the highest paying districts in the city.
In the country. You want to get your raise next year.
Yeah, but
I love working in DC school.
But DC also has incentive programs, so you do get bonuses for like doing good jobs. There's a tier that's a highly effective tier.
Okay.
So if you like hit that rating every year, there's like certain bonuses, incentives that you get. Most specifically in DCPS, which is really awesome, and that's why people travel from throughout the country to come work for DCPS. So like that's what's really dope about them, and so a lot of people are like just interested in that. In other places,
so when teachers ask me for a discount, I should be like, y'all need no discount.
It depends on how they doing.
Cause you must be low effective.
You know what I mean? Depends on how
you
they
must
doing.
be a low effective teacher. That's what Alex told me. So that's why you need to.
Hey man. Hey, you got to find the best bang for your buck. You got to find the best bang for your buck.
Okay, but before you move on to the next thing, then, so that makes me think, because DC is one of the top paid, then do you get folks that are in it for the pay and not necessarily?
You could.
Yeah.
For the love.
You could.
Yeah.
But it's everywhere though.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think you could.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. All
for
right.
Sure.
Just a thought I had.
And like if you're getting paid, like does that keep you like hungry to be better? Like we were talking about, does that keep you hungry to like keep improving?
Right.
And that's like that's an onus on like, and that's individual based.
Yeah.
You
know.
Yeah.
Just everybody's different.
Yeah.
And everybody's situation is different too.
Everybody's situation is different too.
Last week or 2 weeks ago, my nephew was here.
Okay.
And my nephew, my stepmom, and I planned to do all these things, and everything we did in my brain was not expensive, but times 3, eating out is expensive. I was like, if I had a kid or kids, how I move is going to be so different.
Plural is crazy.
I was like,
really
it ain't that bad. I was like, oh dang, go to Denny's is $100 now.
Right.
So
plural
is
is crazy
a little bit. Kind of like, I guess, staying on that thing about finances and education. A hot topic right now is defunding the education system on the federal level. I'm gonna be honest. What the hell does that mean? I don't really understand. Like everyone's like, because we're sitting here and we look on the news and everyone's like, I can't believe they defunded the education system. I'm gonna be real, and most people don't say this. I don't really know what the federal department does. When I look at stuff, I'm from Baltimore. I look at every DC high school, and these are the most beautiful buildings I've ever seen in my life. They're better than every high school, rec center, facility I ever grew up around.
For sure.
Which isn't like saying that everything's perfect. But when I look at it, when I look at a building like that, I'm like, well, it must be kind of funded. But is that city? Is that federal? I don't understand. I really have no idea. Like, so you can put a little light on like what that even means and how it would affect them.
So like for DC, I mean, for any school district, it's going to affect them in a couple different ways. Certain programs in the school that make those schools popular might get cut, and like that kind of like that can affect like students' enrollment, and schools get funded through enrollment. So like that's why the schools are really big on like, hey, enroll,
So for
right?
every student, you're gonna get a
Every
check.
student you get a check for the school to like do what you need to do for the school to function, right? And I don't know how much it is per pupil. I think every student is like $13,000.
So every school is kind of fighting over the same.
Yeah, but it creates a battle because like you also have public schools versus charter schools.
Right.
So like it becomes like this whole like battle over kids, right?
Okay.
And all the kids live in the same areas as the other schools. So and kids can go to school wherever they want, right? Which is awesome, right? Because like they get to have a choice in like where
You can choose any school in the whole city.
pretty much, yeah.
Oh wow.
How?
Certain schools are application schools. So certain schools you have to apply and like you have to test into the school. But certain schools are like zone based. So like if you have like, for example, like if Mom Dukes might live on the southeast, Dad might live here, but if I'm within that zone, I can do it. I also can apply for any school that I want. But once I like, for example, if a kid gets kicked out of the school because he like does something dumb or something like that, they have to go back to their neighborhood school. So you get one chance to go to a school of your choice. And most of the time it's going to start your freshman year.
Right.
So you can't really, like once you decide where you're going to go, you can't be like, all right, I'm going to go to this school. It's not much of a choice after that.
Okay.
You kind of got to be declared on it, other than the application schools. And those are more like, like very academically focused on like one particular thing. You got like tech schools and things like that. So
I wonder if that also makes a big difference in terms of how comparing it to your Connecticut experience. I'm from Pennsylvania. You're from Baltimore. I was talking about, and I don't know how much this applies for the schools that you went to, but does it matter where the students are from? So if we're from different sides of the city, does that then change the interaction in the classroom?
When I first became, it can, because like there's neighborhoods and some neighborhoods don't get along.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So it can. I think our school staff and leadership do a pretty good job, and we're pretty focused on like identifying those things like right away.
Okay.
And like knowing it, like even just like from student, like where students at, like running students' address and things like that. Like you kind of like know where kids are coming from, and know how to prevent. But yeah, it can be like tricky in that way.
That's a lot to have to figure out.
I mean, but it's even trickier with like students going from different schools.
Yeah.
Because like different schools are meeting up at different metro stations. So for example, like Dunbar and McKinley Tech both meet at the same metro station, right? So like sometimes like, there's just dumb teenage problems that happen because of that, right? And so, yeah, it's a lot of that. It's a lot of that. And I think like kids learn very quickly how to be like independent adults, but they don't, and they think that they're moving like that, but you're not moving like that.
They don't have all the tools.
You don't know what you're doing.
I thought it was.
Like
I thought I got this.
Right.
The only thing grown about you is that you have this card that pays for your metro every time. That's the only thing that's grown about it. You know what I mean? Other than that, you figuring it out. You cash apping away.
Right. On the defunding piece, so you talked about what that could actually mean, but amongst educators, when we heard all this conversation from the administration at the top of this year, what did that feel like amongst educators? Like, was there angst about that? Was that even a discussion? Did that play a part in y'all's conversations? Were kids talking about it all?
Not too much. The kids are like fearless.
Yeah.
They're just like,
whatever.
We're gonna be good.
Right.
right? But I will say that in the last 2 years, like our school in particular went from like a 97% African American to I think our demographic now is like 87%. Like, so it's dropped significant.
Yeah,
and it's because we've had an influx of South American immigrants that have come to our school.
Oh, interesting.
Folks from like Honduras, folks from Guatemala, El Salvador. Even like what my cycling program, like our demographic got split in half. Like half African American students, half Latino, and so like when a lot of those things came down, you would see some of the students not necessarily afraid of like situations, something that's going to happen to them, but things that might be happening to their parents,
their family,
things that might happen to their family, and so those were also really tough conversations to have because a lot of our students are and are developing. They're not English speakers, so like having to have like a tough conversation, but you can't really like authentically have a conversation express yourself, right? Like so like really like it gets in the way of you like being able to be there for them emotionally because even them, they know that you can't understand it, so like they have to hold back a certain level of emotion because you don't really know what's going on. But what is awesome is that like a lot of our parents have been like really responsive to those things, and so like a lot of our parents like want their students to be like involved in things, and so I tell my students all the time, like, and to be blunt, like most specifically my black students, I tell them all the time, I'm like, you guys have like a black male teacher in front of you every single day that like pours into you, that like cares about you, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn with you guys,
you're just
right?
making
Like
it plain.
I'm really not trying to like, I'm not doing this because I'm like, I really want to, like, I'm doing this because like I know that you need this, right? I know that you need this, and I'm like, well, and you're getting students that are coming from another country, and they don't understand what I'm saying, basically every day, but they respect me and they're laser focused on me, and they're here every day on time. And they like don't have no excuses, and they're not here trying to be swaggy all the time. They're here trying to figure out how the hell am I gonna get through this class when I don't know what the hell is going on during this class, right? And so
find a way to succeed.
And so I challenge them, and I'm like, y'all really like, y'all need more challenges. Like y'all have some really serious life challenges. Some of the things that y'all have gone through in your life, I've never gone through in my life. Like I can never say that like I've been more resilient than you. Like you've already shown in your life that you've done far more resilient things that I've ever done in my life. And I'm in almost my mid-30s. Oh my God, my mid-30s.
Yeah, 40 coming too. Come on down,
right? Yeah, man.
Come on down. It's nice over here.
But I'm like, we come to school every day, and I'm like, I come from Connecticut, where I didn't have any black male teachers.
Right.
And I'm standing right here in front of you.
Yeah, I never had a black male teacher.
Yeah, I'm standing right here in front of you, like, hello, like, take advantage of this.
Yeah.
Like, take advantage of this. And
they seem receptive.
Yeah, like you know when you talk to them, they get you.
Yeah.
But then like, we as black folks, we like to talk a little bit too much.
Yeah.
So then you realize it's like, dang, they understood the point. They understood the point. They understood the point, and now they scared to check their phones and all that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, but you just preach it into them, and like, I tell them like the lesson that you learn sometimes aren't in the moment. Yeah. Like half of y'all right now, if it's 30 kids, half of y'all, remember you was talking about 50 kids inside the gym, half of y'all aren't gonna listen to nothing I'm saying. Y'all gonna be inspired right now. There's a difference between being inspired and listening. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And applying. Like you could be inspired by what's his name? E.T., right? Yeah. And like all the things he said, you get you pumped up, right? But like, okay, you get pumped up, but then the next day, are you still inspired? Yeah. Like how do you keep that inspiration? So the lesson might be learned when you're 25. You might be 25 and be like, dang, I remember somebody telling me about that, right?
You're planting those seeds.
I kind of ask a deeper question because this is something that I go back and forth. I'm 40, will be 42 on Saturday.
Yes.
Woo-hoo.
Yes.
And there is a shift that you're probably finding now, but you've also been in educational and leadership space a long time. But I think there's a shift where you get to an age where you look up and you are the elder. Okay. And you start thinking about like, my role, I think, globally is like, how do I become a bridge builder, lay a track that makes it easier for people, and I'm gonna be transparent, especially for Black people who are coming back behind me. How do I make sure that their road is easier? And the thing that I'm always dancing with is this notion. I'm gonna piggyback on what you were talking about. Of, am I holding Black people accountable enough? Some of our kids, some of our youth, like there are obstacles of being Black, but there are things out here that there's a lot of opportunities too. Mm-hmm. Any of our parents would give $1 million to be in our shoes. Mm-hmm. The opportunities I have are 100-fold than the ones my parents had, 10,000-fold my grandparents had, and 1 billion more than my great-grandparents. So I always ask when I'm talking to Black people, yes, I know we do have struggles and there's going to be obstacles, but case in point, what you're talking about, you got some kids who are just got here who really see that it's that Eminem song. It's like, this is my moment, this is my chance. Mm-hmm. If I don't hit this shot, ain't no other shots. And are we, I don't know like what the question is there, but like, are we holding our youth and our next generation to the same fire that our previous generation? Because I feel like my parents and people around me, just community, held me to a fire that you are the legacy of what, like my dad was like, I marched so you could do this. So we're not doing average because I'll bust my ass so you could have I open the door, you better run through it and build 8 more doors, right? So are we doing enough to like get them?
You're saying, are we pushing them enough?
Are we pushing them enough and then and hold them to the fire? Uh-huh. They're like, greatness is the only option, like, or this is the opportunities are here versus like looking at what can't be done. I don't know. Does that kind of makes sense?
Yeah, I mean that's what you were talking about. That's what you were saying.
Yeah, I think that is probably the one of the most complex things, because there's so many things that like hold them back. Uh-huh. There's so many things that hold them back. For us, it's like the pressure of like fitting in and trying to be cool. The pressure of like trying to be tough for our boys, most specifically, and our girls, most specifically. For our girls, like trying to be the baddest bitch out here, right? Like, and so like, there's a lot of things. I think, I think societal-wise, we don't do a good job holding our kids accountable for things. And I think that we, I don't think that I'm not saying that every parent wants their kids to be successful. I don't know if any parent that wakes up every day and is like, I want my kid to fail.
Right.
Sure.
Like, there's no parent, right? But I think that we have to get to a point where we go back to like this like village approach. And I think that sometimes we are not okay with, we want accountability to come from certain people for our kids rather than accountability be a village again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Like for me, it would be like, Mr. Sparks will call my mom and be like, this son is acting up. I'm about to jack him all the way up. Right? And like, and then my mom is like, that's okay.
Yeah.
And then he proceeded to jack my ass. Like, seriously, like, and to be real, like that was like a really close like teacher of mine, right? But like he had that connection with me where it's like, if he did do something like that to me, I'll be like, oh, like I'm disappointing him, right?
Yeah, that's love.
Right, and it's like, and in that case, it's like a lot of our kids sometimes are in a position where they're disappointing somebody. That's the thing. It's like, if I get in trouble in school when I was a kid or when I was in high school, I was upset because I'm disappointing my mom. Like, she's gonna be so disappointed. Right. She's gonna be so pissed off. She's gonna get to the school. I know I'm getting cussed out.
For sure.
It's over for me. Like, cell phone gone. Like, you know what I mean? Anything that I was interested in is kind of gonna kind of be delayed. And I think sometimes like we coddle our kids more than we reward them more than we. And I don't like to use the word punish because punish is too close to like slavery and like all those type of things. So I don't mind thinking about punishment. But like discipline, right? How do we like discipline them in a way where they can learn from their mistakes and they can bounce back positively, not learn from the mistakes and it be so punitive where they like, you're always picking on me. Yeah. And I think like sometimes like they've gotten to an age now where they are, there's been so much of a lack of discipline where now it's like when discipline comes, it's like, what is this?
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily that they're rude. It's just like they don't know how to handle discipline.
It's not familiar.
It's just like I don't know how to handle discipline, and it's like that's your last chance, especially in high school, to learn that. Because after that, it's like jail, lose your job, get beat up on the street type thing. Like you mess with the wrong person too. Like all those things. Like
or even lose your life and just say
really quickly. But like most specifically, in terms of we teach in school, like losing a job and then now you have to be held accountable because you got, if you got kids, you got what I mean? Now you got those responsibilities. And like, now you can't, there's no like suspension or like detention for that. Yeah. It's like,
your life.
It's real consequences.
It's like Geico hitting you up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Pepco hitting you up.
It's very serious.
Where these bills at?
On that village piece, that makes me think of specifically, like, I like to think of myself as like, neighborhood Auntie Wit, and like I'm looking out for the youth and whatnot. I'll tell you, I was at Walmart on Georgia Avenue, and these boys were messing around, running around, making all this noise. I was like, so I said something. I sure did. I was like, y'all need to stop all this. And they looked at me like, and they responded, and they did calm down. But afterwards, I was like, I don't know where your mama. Got beat up. Right. I was like, I can't believe I did that. But that's how we grew up. Of like, whoever else was looking out for you. But that's not the case now, because the consequences for me could have been high on that situation. Yeah. I would love to have that village piece, but I don't want somebody following me to my car.
It's the village. It's the village. Yeah. That's the most important piece. That's what we need.
Yeah. So speaking of village, I want to kind of shift gears a little bit and talk a little bit about Primability. Yeah. You're CEO, founder of this. Like, what is Primability? Why you started? Yeah. Why bikes? All the stuff.
Yeah, I can talk about that all day.
Okay.
We got to the best part.
Yeah, I've been waiting on this.
Primability started off as like a program. I started in 2019 originally. It started off as a program like trying to like train athletes and like getting them to like their best ability, and like really using fitness as like a mindset development, more so than just like physical development. So I always like approached fitness as like a holistic thing, and like how far can your mind go, and that was working well. Like I had a ton of kids throughout DC that I was working with, and the pandemic hit right away, and so I picked up new hobbies. I picked up, I was like taking boxing classes. I was like doing yoga. I was doing like bar classes with the damn ball and all that. Soul Cycle. I was doing all of that stuff. And so, but like what I really fell in love with was cycling. And not necessarily cycling like competitive, putting the tight kit on and doing all that stuff, but like more so just like riding my bike. Like gyms were closed down. Yeah. You're familiar with that. Like gyms were closed down, and like a lot of activities weren't there. And so for me, I was like, I gotta stay in shape, man. I'm 28 years old at that time. Like I gotta, make sure I stay on my game. And so a neighbor of mine across the street, he was riding bikes a lot. He would always see I would go on runs in the morning. Like I would go on like 3-mile runs. He was like, yo, like I need somebody to come ride with me. I have like extra bikes. Like, would you be open to come on a ride? Like, so he had an extra bike. So I was like, sure. And it was like a mountain bike. And like this dude, like it reminds me of my Uncle Gary, man. R.I.P. my man, Uncle Gary, man. Uncle Gary, he was, he died in the 70s, but like he rode his bike everywhere in the city. He was just like the old man in the hood that like rode his bike everywhere. That was this guy, right? Like he was riding his bike everywhere, right? So like when I first started riding with him, he's leaving me in the dust. I cannot keep up with him. And I'm like, yo, this biking stuff is the real deal. It's the real deal, right? And so,
old man know what's up.
Oh yeah. And I use the analogy of my uncle. He's not an old man. This guy's not an old man, but his name is Dre. But like he'd been doing this. Like he was doing this before the pandemic. but he was trying to get more people into it. And he kept encouraging me, like he saw the things that I was already doing with students in DC, and he was like, why don't you like introduce it to the kids?
Oh, wow.
And I was like, bikes? I was like, come on, bro, like bikes, come on. And then, you know, little by little, he talked me into it. And my friend Megan, shout out to her, like she was like, you need to like start your own GoFundMe page. You know how invested women be, like they be on it.
Let's go.
You need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. And I'm like, I don't even know if I want to do it yet. You over here making me do it.
Yeah.
And she told me, she was like, you need to do this, you need to do this. Did you do this? Did you? And I was like, all right, I got you, right?
Shout out to Megan.
Shout out, seriously.
Yes.
Shout out to Megan. And so, you know, I started posting it on different like Facebook group pages, and like the GoFundMe like went crazy. We raised all this money. And then like people in the groups started reaching out, like, can we donate this bike? Can we donate this bike?
Okay.
And I was just like, drop everything off at Dunbar. And little by little, we had a ton of bikes like accumulated, and we started out our first group ride. And our first group ride, like, we ain't know, again, I'm still not Mr. In shape either. So like, in terms of cycling. Yeah. And so like, you know, we ain't have enough helmets for everybody. Okay. We had the rinky dink bikes right now. Like, we had the real bad bikes. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. Chain popping during the ride. Bikes going flat. Man, it was a work in progress. And it's like, you know, it really, to look at where we are now, it's just like, it's crazy to see like the level of manifestation. Wow. And I always use the word manifestation when I talk about our program, because it's not, that's what the idea was. The idea was like, get kids riding bikes and just chilling, right? It's the pandemic. It's the most socially distant thing that I can think of that you can do, because it's outside. You determine how close you are to somebody, and you can wear your mask at that time. And so, that kicked off.
What do the kids think when you ride it to them?
That's a really good question. And I've answered that a ton. Like there's a lot of different reactions they've gotten. But the first thing was, so we started the ride program, but then like probably the next year, 2021, we started a mountain biking team. Okay. And we're going into our 5th year now. Okay. So like those same kids would show up ride. I would say we would get like around like 40, 50 kids like per ride. So that's a lot. So it showed that like kids needed like this safe haven. Like they wanted a safe space. Our whole motto is like more kids on bikes, less kids on the street. You'll see that like on all of our apparel. Okay. Really because like, you know, in my career, I've lost way too many kids to gun violence. It just like continuously happens. Yeah. And so, you know, even during that time, I would say during the pandemic, our school alone lost 6 kids. Like throughout the pandemic, we lost 6 kids. And so I was trying to use bikes. Like bikes was like a new thing for me. But then when everything was happening, I was like, okay, well, this can solve a problem. Like, what problem am I trying to solve? And so that was like that kind of launched like the inspiration and kind of like the passion project for me. Okay. It's to like get those kids out of those neighborhoods and get them pedaling different areas in DC rather than like where they are. Okay. And so, yeah, man, like, when we first started with the mountain, to answer your question, that's a white sport. Okay. That was it. That was like, the reaction. I ain't about to get on these mountain bikes and going through these trails, like get all dirty, all these thorns hitting me. You know what I mean? Like, they was not having it at first, right? But it took 2 kids, Isaiah and Chris, were like two really popular kids. Okay. They both were on the basketball team, on the baseball team, like just like those it guys. Yeah. And so once everybody saw that they was leading the way, everybody was like, yeah. And then like that. And then like, you know, Isaiah's brother like joined the team, and like his whole cohort of kids. And like, you know, we've had like different teams every year with kids like just kind of progressing like with their skill level. And so, so that's been like really awesome to see happen. And I was approached by a guy, his name is John Posner. He came to one of our group rides, was like, man, it's awesome like to see like so many kids out here riding. Like, did you ever think about like starting a racing team? Okay. And like that's how like the whole racing program started. And so our first year we had like 8 kids on the team. The next year we had like 12 kids on the team, and it stayed like there for like the next like 2-3 years, like 12 to 13 kids. And then this year we're gonna have like 25 kids on the team. It's like
Okay,
Yeah,
so
like,
how does bike
we're locked
racing
in.
work? Like, what does that mean?
So there's 2 different seasons. It's like the spring and the summer, which is going to be mostly road cycling.
Okay.
So that's going to be your skinny tires, the little curved handlebars,
Okay.
and that's more speed stuff.
Okay.
And so
That's
that
for us.
yeah
Okay.
that
Okay.
ends
Okay.
that ends in August, and then mountain biking season starts.
Okay.
And those races, think about like a mountain biking meet is probably like, imagine going to a cross country meet.
Mm-hmm.
But it's bikes everywhere.
So you through the woods.
You're through the woods,
over the
all of
river
that.
and through the woods.
Yeah, you're doing all of that, all that stuff. And so,
wow.
so they're racing, and so we're the only DC team.
Oh wow.
So we represent DC.
Okay.
And we're in a league called NICA Maryland. NICA is like a national cycling association for high school. So it's throughout the country. And then we're in the Maryland chapter league.
Okay.
And so we compete in that league as DC's team.
As the only DC team.
Yeah. And so there's one team that's actually joining the league this year from DC, but you know, we've
started it.
We've been the ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my question with that, and kind of tying in primability and education piece, is like, what do you provide for the kids, or primability does, that they don't get in the classroom? Because it's also education and community or whatever, but like, why is this such a draw, and you're seeing change and growth in these kids maybe in a different way than the classroom?
A couple of different ways. Like, I think first is like it meets the kids where they are. It's inclusive right away, because it doesn't require like the one thing it requires for you know how to ride a bike, right?
Yeah.
Like, but like, you can learn how to ride a bike, right? But I think it's like you don't have to try out for the team. We don't care about how fast you are.
Okay.
We don't care about like how skilled you are, like, because we have different groups that like, and we have coaches that like work with different skill groups. So like, you don't have to feel like you don't have to feel like you have to be Lance Armstrong on day number 1, right? And so it's an inclusive piece. I think that like every student, one of our other programs is our mechanic program. So we teach kids how to become bike mechanics, and they become certified like a level 1. And we got kids like, we got like 4 or 5 kids now that are working in different bike shops throughout DC as mechanics. And so like, it gives students, like, to speak on the inclusion piece, it gives students the opportunity to go like, hey, like, I'm not trying to ride bikes tonight at 6 o'clock for 30 miles. Like, I'll work on the bikes when y'all get back, right? Like, I'll chill. And so that's been really cool in terms of like getting the young ladies into it, because like inclusion, like a sport like cycling, it's like an extreme sport in a sense, whereas like, you're gonna see a lot of the young boys get into it right away, because they're just like, oh, like, let's race, and like, they don't care about banging their bodies. But some of our young ladies, they're kind of like reluctant in it, because it's like, one, I'm not trying to be out here super competitive. I'm not trying to like do a bunch of stuff, but like, changing this tire, I can do that, right? Like, I can maybe like fix this wheel, right? And I can do more like cerebral based things. And you know, I have opportunity to still excel because of the certification. So, so like, you know, we try to meet kids and expose kids to things that they're not exposed to every day. Every year we have a camping trip. We actually have one coming up on the 15th of August. We take kids out to Spruce Knob, West Virginia. And this year is going to be specifically a mountain biking camp, but in the previous years, it's just like rock climbing and just like things that are getting them out of their environment and going to really challenge them. And that's what prime mobility is all about, like being at your prime all the time, like showcasing your ability, not just when people are looking at you. Like, you could be your best like in classroom when people are looking at you, but like in like the most secretive of hours, like, are you still going to be your best? And so like, that's what we kind of like. That's what we try to preach to them every day.
Yeah, like accountability piece. I love that.
So, you have the classroom experience. You have what I would say the community inclusion, other classroom experience. Is maybe one of my last questions before we go to our speed round. If you were in charge of all of education, for the country,
I already know how to answer this. Go ahead.
All right. And you had to make some decisions to make the most impact for the next 10 years, what would you do?
I would have all the students from every single school meet in the gym every single day, or in a certain area, maybe breakout groups depending on how big the schools are, and exercise before school.
Wow.
Really?
Every single day.
That is not what I thought you were gonna say.
Every single day.
That was like the last thing I thought you were gonna say something like with policy or something.
Every
like
single
that.
day.
Wow.
Every single day.
In the beginning of the
At the beginning of the day.
So why?
It's mandatory.
Why?
And again, like every kid is different at every school. So, I mean, every kid is different. I mean, we got thousands of kids.
Yeah.
Sure.
Millions of kids in
Right.
America. So
Right.
like every kid in America ain't running a mile before school
Right.
like, every day. That's not. But it
Maybe.
could happen.
It could happen.
Right. But I think like there's a very powerful thing in physical movement before school, and like getting your brain functioning before school. I think that there's access to a lot of different things. There's access to like, being able, mom and dad aren't there before school. So like, I'm gonna hang out with my little boo before school. So like, there's that distraction.
Yeah.
You got like, let me hit this little J before school. Let me
Right.
get a little high before school before I go in
Right.
there.
Right.
I could just fall asleep. Like, so there's different things that like, you got students that are coming to school and they're not necessarily focused on themselves, right? Like get locked in, especially in our Sweat DC classes. It's a lot about like getting your mindset ready for the day. Like a morning class is like getting your mindset ready for like, how are you going to approach your day?
Yeah.
And a lot of times we get them to like jump right into like, hey, like take out your homework and it's like, nah, like give them a challenge before they do that. Give them a challenge before they do that. Like, how many laps should you walk today on the track? Right? Or like, like something that's gonna hold them accountable, but also get their brain flowing. We have a lot of programs at Primability, but our most popular program now is our bike bus program.
Okay.
And our bike bus program is an incentive. A guy, his name is Sam Balto, he started it in Portland, Oregon. And he started it because there was a lot of traffic in front of his school. He's a elementary school teacher. So a lot of parents are dropping their kids off in front of the school and it's causing like so much traffic.
Yeah.
So he was like, what if, and it's different because it's a neighborhood. So like most of the people all the kids in the neighborhood go to the same school, right? But he's like, what if one day a week, let's try it out, if we, like everybody rode their bike to school. And so instead of, and again, we talked about like school buses and bus stops, instead of like me at a bus stop, I get on my bus and then you know how it is, Whitney, like you go to the next bus stop and then we pick up Whitney.
Yeah.
We go to the next bus stop, we pick up Coach G and then we get to school, right? Instead of that, it's bikes. So the first stop is like a group of kids with bikes. Then they ride to the next stop.
Okay.
And then by the time you get to school, it's like the whole damn school.
Okay.
So like he did his like that and it's like, it's really taken off and it's become a whole movement and everybody does it to solve their own problems in their community. His was traffic. Ours is school truancy.
Okay.
Ours is like giving them kids an incentive to show up to school, get to school on time. And ours starts at 7:30 in the morning. So like, you got to get there early because we know school starts at 9 o'clock.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you know the group is waiting for you, they're at their stop and they expecting Whitney, where you at? You're like, oh, okay, I want to make sure.
And ours is different. Ours is different. So ours is the kids have to get to the school. We provide them with the bikes.
Okay.
And then we go on a ride. We go on like a fun ride before school for the physical fitness like we talked about. And then the incentive is you get Chick-fil-A before school.
Okay.
You might get 2 or 3 sandwiches.
That's enough.
Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, and then you're there on time. So you actually get to go to class and you're sitting in class on time and you're not like going to class all groggy because you just like blasted your favorite song throughout the city. You're feeling good. You were just with all your friends.
You moved your body. Your belly's full.
Yep.
You saw friends. You had the social piece. Yeah. There's like all these boxes that are ticked even before your butt hits the seat in the classroom.
And if you're a kid that like doesn't experience those things, you've never been a part of a team, or you never like you know like your friend group isn't like the most lively or the biggest friend group or the most popular friend group. Like it's an opportunity for you to show up and like meet friends, and opportunity to show up and like like be yourself and build community for yourself. And so.
I love that.
So like we're gonna be trying to do more of those at like different schools throughout this year, but that's just been like really powerful in terms of that. So yeah, to answer your question, like that's what I would do. That's what I would do. Because policy is like that stuff takes a long time. A lot of people signing off. But like one thing, like especially if I was like a principal of a school, like that will be something that like it might go against it might be a gray area for some folks. Like, hey, why they not like doing English? Why they not going right to the English class? Because like I just really believe that like if kids move before class, trust me, they're going to be more focused.
Wow.
They're going to be more focused.
I mean, we say this for adults all the time.
For sure.
So why wouldn't we have the same access for kids?
I know my day is better when I start with movement.
Yeah.
Easily.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so to the speed round.
Speed round.
Dun, 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 dun. You got like 2 seconds to answer these questions, right? All right, you ready? Burgers or wings?
Wings.
What flavor?
Buffalo.
Buffalo. All
Yeah,
right,
classic.
Hot.
Classic.
Spicy.
Hot buffalo.
That's my
Okay.
killing.
Spicy. Blue cheese.
All right. Sunrise ride or late night ride?
Sunrise ride.
Okay.
Get up and get moving.
Get moving.
Early
Yes.
guy, man.
Yes.
Early guy.
Yeah.
Early guy.
All right. Who do you want in your corner more, Michelle Obama or Beyonce?
I just went to Beyonce. I gotta be on Beyonce's side.
Your first
I love
Beyonce
Michelle.
concert.
Though. I love Michelle, but like I gotta be on Beyonce's side.
Yeah.
After that concert, she got me right
She
now.
got you.
She got me right now, man.
That'll do it to
Cowboy
you.
Carter.
That'll do it
This
to
is
you.
real.
Yeah.
All right. Kendrick or Drake?
Kendrick.
All right.
Kendrick.
Man of the people.
Sorry,
Drake.
Drake.
Yeah. Say sorry, Drake.
Drake, you still good, Drake.
Yeah. Sneakers or slides?
Sneakers.
Sneakers.
I
All
love
right.
sneakers.
Abbott Elementary or The Wire?
The Wire.
The Wire.
The Wire. I don't know. I just like gangster shit.
Yeah.
Those are so different too.
I love
like
gangsta
gangsta
shit.
shit, man.
I'm from Baltimore, so I was like, The Wire for sure. All right, what's your go-to karaoke song?
You Remind Me by Usher.
Oh.
And for y'all who
Crowd
don't
pleaser.
know, Alex sings while he teaches class.
He sure does.
So he will
Only while teaching class.
only while teaching
Only while
class.
teaching class. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna bust out no vocals right now.
All right.
Okay.
Last couple. What's one thing students have taught you over the years?
To smile more.
Really?
Yeah.
Like to just laugh more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's not that serious.
It's not that
Yeah.
All the
serious.
time. It's not that. It's
Chill
not. It's
out.
not that serious all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like chill out. And shout out to Maddie. Maddie taught me that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I know you really want this to happen, Coach Clark. I know you do. We all know you do. It's all over social media. But she was like, today, can you just chill the hell out?
That's real.
And I was like, you know what?
Shut
I'm gonna
up,
chill
Maddie.
today. I'm gonna chill today. I'm gonna chill today.
Maddie, go
You're right.
ahead.
Since you asked me like that, it's like, what I'm supposed to say? No?
I love it.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Chill sometimes.
And what's one thing that we who maybe don't work with kids all the time don't understand about the kids of today?
They're an open book. They're genuine. They're very genuine. They're very genuine. A lot that they're hiding, of course, but they're extremely, extremely genuine. And when they're on your side, oh, they're on your side.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, you know, like
Loyalty. Okay.
you got kids that like they're allies for life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Once you pour into them. And so, you know, it's always cool like when you see a kid that you didn't see for a few years. It's DC, so it all happens all the time. Like you pass them, and it could be like at the most inopportune time, like walking home at 10 o'clock, and it's like, yo, what up, Coach Clark? He like on a scooter. And I'm like, yo, what up? I don't even know who you are.
Right.
My
Coach
man,
Clark, I
my
love
man.
that.
So like, yeah, it's like they're really genuine. They'll never forget you. Once they love you, they love you. But it's not just gonna be like an easy shell to break when it comes to them. Like,
Okay.
you're gonna have to meet
Do the
them too.
work.
You're gonna have to do the work.
Yeah.
You have to do the work.
Yeah.
Gotta do the work.
Yeah.
That's a good place to end on.
That is.
Yeah.
Alex, tell us where else we can find you, how we can follow, how we can be supporting what you're doing.
Yeah. So my personal Instagram is Broadway Clark. That's at Broadway Clark. Organization Primability.
Okay.
It's at Primability. And our website is www.stayprimability.com.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So you can donate to the cause there.
Right there.
You can donate bikes.
Donate
See
bikes.
that? All y'all watching this.
You come support us. Our next race is going to be on August 9th. It's the Backyard Boogie in Bowie, Maryland.
Okay.
We also have a race on August 16th. That's going to be at RFK, and that's called the Chocolate City Crit. And then starting in September, we start our mountain biking season. So if you want to check out that schedule is at marylandmtb.org.
Okay.
Cool. Well, we appreciate your time.
Yeah.
And keep changing the world.
Let's go.
Appreciate it.
Stay prime.
Yeah.
Stay
Alex,
prime.
Stay
Stay
prime.
prime.
Yes.